All right, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well. And salutation to the Akims on the four corners pushing his truth and sincerity. All right, I'm going to do continuation of Matthew 24. I left off with verse 11, so I'm going to go there. It says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. It's talking about the last days. All right, I'm going to go to, many false prophets. So we know that that's going to be, the people that's deceived is going to be the 2/3, okay? Because the elect, they're not going to fall out of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's hand. They're going to, and the 1/3, they're going to be basically awakened to Satan's devices. They're not going to be ignorant to them. We're going to know what's going on, okay? Verse 12. It says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Now I'm going to go to First Maccabees. I think it's chapter 1. Let me see. No, it's not. It says, okay. Okay, there it is, verse 9. This is after Alexander died. It says, after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So that's like a precept to Matthew 24:12. It says, in the last days, because you got to keep in mind, when Yahushua was born and died and resurrected, those were considered the last days. Okay, so if those were considered the last days, you really got to know that we at the end of this shit. All right. But it says that then this is after Esau's coming into rulership. You know, it says evils were multiplied in the earth, like it was just growing. Like evil was just growing, and that's what he was born to do, to be the wicked, to spread wickedness, you know. And it said it grew, it multiplied, and this was thousands of years ago. So just think about where it is now. It's just his sins have reached the heavens, you know. His rap sheet, man, there's no end to it. All right. Go back to 24. I think I was at 13. Okay. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Now, I got a couple precepts for that. I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes. Uh, 9 and 11. Okay, it says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift. So, no matter if you're running fast and all that in this, I mean, it's you got to be in a good pace. You got to run a good pace in this race. You don't want to burn yourself out. A marathon runner don't sprint the first 400 meters, you know. You got to get you a good pace and run with it, okay? It says, nor the battle to the strong. It says, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. So the race is not to the swift. So it's basically telling you, man, just because you have the speed, don't mean you should run it in a long distance, okay? So you basically Get you a good pace and run at that pace. All right. Just because you fast don't mean that if you get into a 5 mile run, when you start, you shouldn't sprint. You should get you a good pace and mellow out at that pace. Like in its truth, don't be trying to get into breakdowns and you just like heavy breakdowns when you just really understanding the milk of it. All right. Go back. All right. It says, and this gospel. Oh, hold on. Salaki, I had another precept on that. It was Romans. Last scripture, Romans 9. I think it's around. Let me just go. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so it's 16. It says, so then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. So it don't matter if you go to church and you been going for 40 years. That's you running a race, okay? But it's ultimately up to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai if you're going to be saved, okay? So you can do all the things you want to do on your own will, listening to a pastor in a church. That's not going to get you up out of here, all right? Now let me go back to Matthew. All right. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. All right. Now we know coming towards the end that let me see. Coming towards the end, like we were gonna be starting to wake up and realize who we were. We can get that in 1 Corinthians 4:9. It says, for I think that the Most High has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world and to angels and to men. So the last days he was going to set us forth, okay? And you got to look at this and think like, well, he was telling his apostles this way back then. He was telling his disciples this way back then, okay? And he was telling them things to look forward to. Just letting you know, like, they were going to be back today, all right? So those same ones, he said, I set forth the apostles last. So you know that these apostles, these men that's bringing this truth out on the highways and hedges, they were set up from the beginning. And each generation they came back, this is exactly what they were doing. All right. Okay. It says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth, let him understand. All right. Daniel prophesied of all the kingdom that was going to come through. Starting with the Babylonians, Persians and Medes, Grecians, Romans, so on and so forth, on down to Babylon, where we're at right now. Okay. And this is when this goes to, like, I think Titus and Vespasian, when he says, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, because it's a precept to this where Joseph was told by the angel to take Mary and Yahweh Shai and flee into basically the mountains. It was like among the Egyptians or the Hamites, dark nations that they looked like, you know what I'm saying? So they could blend in. That lets you know Yahweh Shai wasn't no fucking cracker. Because you're not going to blend in with no Egyptians if you're white, if you so-called white person. All right? It says, let him, which is on the housetop, not come down to take anything out of his house. Okay, 18, it says, neither let him, which is in the field, return back to take his clothes. So when you get out of this place, when you leave, like, make sure you stay the hell away from it, because it's gonna be brought down, and it's gonna have great slaughter coming also. Now you can also put that to today. Okay, basically, like, when you get to America or the place I'm gonna send you in captivity, it don't mean go into their philosophies or their ways, because I'm gonna come back to you, you know, to save, like, the elect or whatever, you know, the elect in the 1/3. And I don't want to find you in the philosophies or, you know, going to, like it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt, you know. I mean, basically, stay out of the philosophies of this world, okay? And it says, woe unto them that are with child, and that to them that give suck in those days. Also, this was like when the Romans came to ransack Jerusalem or whatever, to destroy them. He told them to flee. Also, the upcoming, the race wars, the pestilence, famine, and all those things that come, martial law. It says, woe to them that be with child. Like, so if you, it's not a time to be, I mean, things, the Most High have things done that's gonna be done, okay? But it's basically telling you it wouldn't be a wise thing to have kids in this end time, you know? It just wouldn't be wise, because when you have to make those certain moves, that could be a thing that the Most High gonna have you. But I mean, you know, like, dealing with things in this world, if you have kids, period, you know, it's gonna be like, oh man, you know, you're gonna have your kids might be like, I'm hungry, crying or whatever, you know, and you're gonna have all kind of stress on you from the get-go. So that's gonna be like somewhat of an extra thing on you, you know. Okay, let me get one more. It says, but pray that your flight be not in the winter. Now, when martial law and all these things happen, you got to know one thing about Jake. Jake hate that cold, especially being outside in it. Now just imagine martial law to where you have to flee your house and go live in the damn woods. Then you got them same kids with you, you know. That's not a shit. That's not a good sight, bro. That's not nothing you really desire. But shit, it's called Jacob's trouble for a reason, you know. It says, and that winter, man, that's some shit right there, bro. That's, whew, man. Living in the woods, cold as hell, and you got to keep in mind it's gonna be on the loose shit. It's gonna be fucking killers. It's gonna be animals. You know what I'm saying? And just the environment that you gonna be in, like, people just not used to that, bruh. But we got the upper hand by knowing these things. You know, it's gonna be people out here that don't have a clue on what's going on, that's gonna be forced into the fucking woods, or that's gonna be killed. You know what I'm saying? In a process leading up to those things. All right. It says neither on the Sabbath day, because I think it was in Matthew's, it was like, I think it was a law that you wasn't supposed to travel far on the Sabbath day, if I'm not mistaken. But this part 2, I'm gonna make a few more parts. I hope this was edifying. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles, that great millstone. Salutations to the Akims, pushing this truth and sincerity. Shalom.